Alright. Testing. Okay, looks like it's going. Let's see. What did we do last week? Okay, so what I need to do is add that cutscene. Alright. How's it going, everybody? I'm Drifty from Driftwood Gaming. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to be working on the Legend of Driftwood. Okay, we shall return when we have finished the use of the airship. Something. Okay, so once we have the airship, hey Black Ruby Raven, how are you doing? Once we get the airship, we get the end credits, and we're still looking for our friends, but the game is essentially over. We can do some extra things with the arena and the mines, and get these two party members back. So on the world map, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Right here, when the player touches this, we'll show a text that just says, stay tuned for the next episode of the Legend of Driftwood. And in here, I'll put a link to the Discord. Just, why not? Join us on Discord for the most up-to-date releases. That is the promo when the players walk on this at the end, because this will be the last boss once we get to that point. But I'm going to push an update first before we work on all that new stuff. Significant changes have been put in. I think we have to do something with this cave. Hey Silex, you're still in France? Cool. I'm doing great. I'm still in New York. So what I think I'll do is link up these caves here. I already did, okay. But did I link the world map to that cave? No. So let's take a transfer event, put it here, and edit this. And okay, that's not the transfer event I want. Something more like this. Okay. We'll edit this, and we'll have it say Mysterious Cave. Ooh. Mysterious Cave. How are you so good at making games? I don't know. I I guess I'm good at it. I don't know, practice makes perfect, I guess. Here's the thing. If you do anything for 14,895 hours, now of course I haven't been messing with this engine for that long. It's been open while I've fell asleep before, and it's, but I have put a lot of hours into it. If you put a lot of hours into something, you're going to get good at it. It's just kind of like that. Do. Let's copy this link. Forgot to. We've been live for 6 minutes. I forgot to link. But I remembered. Also live on Mixer. Gosh, spell it right. I think to link it I'll have to go like this. I think it, yeah, so there's a bot that I put in. That will just notify when I go live and when I leave the live stream, so that's pretty cool. So let's transfer the player to the mysterious cave. And we're going to touch up this cave a little bit and add some tracks lighting and whatnot. So let me go here, grab one of these tracks lighting events. Maybe I should treat it the way that I did the sewers. I feel like it should be a little bit darker, but I don't want it to be super black. And just like, nobody wants to see just complete dark screen. So let's go like this. What does this one use? Tarax lighting. Tent set. Turn the weathers off. Okay, we'll copy this. And we'll use this for the mysterious cave as well. So let me just zoom in and start fixing some things I see with this map. There, that looks a little better. Okay, so this is going to be a dead-end area that I'll have to put some treasures, like something in this pot, and then like maybe a chest right here. Scion Lionheart, thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate that. I know you did it like a minute ago, but I have to click like approve to stop from that being auto-spammed at some point. What got you into game development? It's a good question. Hey, Shabetos Ray. How are you doing today? What are you guys listening to? Let me take that question. What got me into game development? Well, if we go back, way back, way back, I was a little tadpole, and I had a Nintendo Entertainment System. This was before I had a computer. This is before many people had computers. And I played a few different games. Of course, Mario was the first one. And I always liked video games. I was always using video games as a form of escape. When reality got too difficult to deal with, I would reclusively escape into a little bubble, a safe zone, where I could play a video game and my real life problems didn't matter. Well, at least, I've learned since that you can't just run from your problems and hope they go away. It rarely works that way, but it provided a safe space, and video games acted as a therapeutic thing for me. So I naturally formed an emotional bond to playing with video games. I did the same thing later on with music, and that's why I kind of got real heavy into playing different instruments and stuff. It became a form of therapy and escape mechanism. But that formed emotional bonds with the hobby. And when I got a computer, I was 12 years old, and I've found some software. It was RPG Maker. I forgot which one. It was an old one, maybe 2000 or something. And I mean, I didn't do this at 12, but I got the computer and I started using different softwares and learning how to use a computer. Broke it several times. But I was always fascinated with technology. I always went to video games as a form of therapy and an escape mechanism. So I was naturally drawn to these things. And it was just like a no-brainer, really, when I found software that let me use creativity and tell the story that I wanted to tell, or use the mechanics that I wanted to play. It came down to, what game do I want to play? What kind of game do I want to play? So, and I found a lot of good games that I liked, but there was never a game that was like, this is the greatest game, and everything about it is perfect, and I just want to keep playing this game. Even if I was highly into a lot of games, I played several games for 100 plus hours, but there was never a game that I thought, this is everything I wanted it to be. So when I was presented with the idea that I could make a game, I was highly inspired to want to do that, because I still didn't have the perfect game, the perfect escape mechanism, if you will, to to self-soothe. So when I found that I could make games myself, naturally I wanted to do that. I feel like there should be a little tunnel right here. Yeah, because you need some way to get into this area. This is blocked off right here. And so, you know, it's what you'd expect. I wanted to play a game that had this feature from this game, that feature from another game, a storyline that's revolved around this thing, that captures this sort of feel, and that game didn't exist. So the only way that I was going to be able to play that game that was in my head was to make it myself. So that's what got me like inspired to start making games. And trial and error and doing it over and over and over gave me the skills to do it. When I first started making video games, video tutorials weren't really plausible. I mean, I had a 28.8 kilobit per second modem. So you could only download a few kbps, a few kilobit per second. You know, you would be happy if you were downloading 5 KB a second. Now we download, you know, a lot faster than that, 1,000 times faster than that, in some places 10,000 times faster than that. So video streaming wasn't really a thing at that point. We're talking, well, when I was 12, and I'm 35 now. So you're looking at 23 years. Over 2 decades ago. So the tutorials I learned to use RPG Maker on were text files. You would go on like GameFAQs or other websites, and you would type in how to do this, RPG Maker. And if you were lucky, you would see somebody wrote a text document about it. And that's where I picked up a lot of my core fundamental skills, is reading text documents. Now we have video streaming where you can watch people mess with it, and you could watch specific tutorials on how to do these things. Wow, there's some serious depth perception problems with this map. I'm not a great mapper. I don't like mapping. That's why I'm using a map that was given to me. I'm just going to change it up a little bit so that it's a little bit different. So I don't know, I think I lost the question somewhere. What got me into game development? I played video games, I liked video games, I used them as an escape mechanism. I wanted to make a video game that had elements from different games that I enjoyed, and when I figured out that there were software engines that would make it easier to do these things, I jumped on that and learned to do that. Learn to use them. Great question. Let me throw that back at you. Black Ruby Raven. I'm assuming you're a game developer. Developer. I don't see why anyone would kind of watch this unless they were also using the engine or something. Let me ask you. What got you into game development? Are you currently working on a project? Jamie Cassidy says, it's really nice being able to make the exact story and dialogue that you want. Stories that other people make can be awesome, but also miss something that you're really wanting in a game, yeah. Hello, Dr. Vile. Jazzmink, how you doing? Jazzmink is looking for a game with the feeling of Breath of Fire 3. What's up, ZL Entertainment? So you've been working on games since you were 12, huh? I thought I'd been doing it for a long time, with nearly 10 years. Well, it's not like I spent every waking day making video games since I was 12. That's not what I'm saying. But ever since I was 12, I've been messing with gaming engines and like trying to find. I've been intrigued by software development and never really went hard on anything. I messed with this engine, messed with that engine. I didn't have the money or the opportunity to actually like go to school to become a programmer or anything. Or all of my studies were in high school and junior college. I was afforded the opportunity to go to a JC for a couple of years. I went back in 2010 and finished up some things, but at that time I was majoring in music composition. So like I switched back and forth between my form of therapy basically, which was music and video games, and I still play my guitars from time to time. I play the piano like every day, a little bit here, a little bit there. I have a keyboard set up in the living room, so as I'm waiting for something, while I'm cooking or something, I'll play on the piano while I'm waiting for something, so that I'm not watching water boil. But yeah, I still use music as a form of therapy, and I still use game design as a form of therapy. It's kind of very therapeutic to me, so it helps me deal with any stressors in my life. And so why do I do it? Definitely not because of the money around it. You don't make very much money doing what I do. It's really, it helps me deal with life. It's pretty simple, really. Kind of gotta love what you do. And if you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to be happy. That's not to say that you're going to love every day of your job. It doesn't matter if you love what you're doing. There'll be days where you don't want to do it. And that's not the point. The point is to find something that you can sustainably do and not go crazy. You know, you can enjoy it on the long term. And if it can bring you joy, then you should capitalize on something that can bring you joy. Jamie Cassidy says, my biggest inspiration to make a game was Undertale and Deltarune. Love the emotions and music, the story. Absolutely. Toby Fox really knocked it out of the park with Undertale. And Deltarune just as good. I mean, it wasn't finished yet. It's still like a demo, isn't it? Deltarune is still like a smaller title. He was just having fun with that, and you can see it. Yeah, I think Toby Fox is a great developer. Great developer. Absolutely. ZL says, it's pretty cool actually. Similarly, I use playing music and writing songs and writing stories for therapy. Yeah, I believe it. I can see that. Skepsis says, not sure if the chat is showing up for you from Mixer, so hello again. Oh yeah, my Mixer chat. Let me view the channel. Yeah, the chat for Mixer isn't showing up, and I don't know if that's because I'm using Streamlabs OBS. I probably just haven't set up the API right. Like Twitch chat and YouTube chat is showing up. However, I'm not streaming to Twitch because it's against the terms of service. So if I stream to YouTube, I can't also stream to Twitch. And people were telling me that like they're not like going to be super strict about it, but eventually someone's going to like it's going to be a problem. So I'm like, you know what? I better not break the TOS on Twitch. So I'm still going to cater to my main audience, which is on YouTube. I've got my biggest audience on YouTube. So if I have to, according to Twitch, I have to choose which one I'm going to be streaming to. Well, I'm going to pick YouTube over Twitch every time because they've paid my bills. YouTube's given me thousands of dollars over the years, and I haven't made very much from Twitch at all. And that goes into, is it sustainable? Can I do it? And like, yeah, this is definitely something you're not going to do to make money. You're not going to make money doing this. Like, not really. If you are lucky and you're a hard worker, it doesn't matter if you're just a hard worker. You have to be lucky as well. If you're lucky and you're a hard worker and you put out a product that a lot of people want and it like captures the audience and it's got good replayability, or even if it actually doesn't need replayability, that's irrelevant. If you sell a game that makes you a good amount of money, and you can make this sustainable, but 95% of game developers don't make money. They're solo indie studios with like one or two people, usually one person, and they're working on a game and they've been working on it for years, and it's just a big money sink. If you look at it as a hobby that may at some point give you a return, then it's much more healthy than to see this as like I'm going to do this for a living. It sounds awesome, but it's really, really difficult, and it's unlikely. But it's just as unlikely for a lot of other things. Jamie says, I feel like if you do what you love and still live a good life, awesome. If what you love to do also pays the bills, amazing. All good either way, yeah. It definitely helps me pay the bills. That's a bug. So this map definitely had a lot going wrong with it here. I'm trying to clean it up and make it work. I don't know if that doesn't quite work right there. Let's go like this. Okay, I see what's going on here. There's a lot of issues with perspective in here, some that I've created, some that were already on the map, but I think it's more or less passable for this free game. Epic Mighty Ina, Cloud, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Let's put a Tarax lighting event on here. Is this one it? Yeah, this is it. So let's copy this one, put this here. Guys, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. I'm back, thank you so much. Jasmine, I'm still translating. Translating? Do you not speak English? Jazz? Wait, maybe let me scroll back up. Jamie says, I feel like games can be fun and mindless, and that's great, but a truly great game will somehow help the player in real life. Perhaps emotional awareness or simply learning valuable life skills. Jamie, that's interesting that you would say that. I agree. I think video games have improved my reading and writing capacity extremely. So, I think I wouldn't have done as well in school if I had not been so much into like RPGs, because RPGs involve a lot of reading. And I think I owe a large portion of my vocabulary as a kid, my early vocabulary, to video games. So I would definitely not be as educated if I wasn't given the opportunity to invest my time into video games. Oh, you're translating your game. Oh, cool. Jazz, what language is your game originally in? You're translating it to English from German or French or something? Zeal says, I've been writing since I was 7. It's my all-time favorite thing to do. Cool, man. That's awesome. Have you, I understand it's a therapeutic thing, so don't take this next question as like an affront. Have you published anything? I mean, if not, that's totally cool. I'm curious. DVD, what's up? From German. Sweet. Video games helped you make friends with your father? You made maps for him and he played them? Oh, that's cool. Ekaterina Stadnikova. That's very cool. Video games have brought a lot of people together. But the media would have you believe that they cause violence. Guys, I played Pong. We're all doomed. No. Epic Mighty Enid Cloud says, I learned English from games. There you go. It's better when it's in English. The plugins are all in English too, so just makes sense. Yep. I think we should test our transfer events and test the lighting and also look to see if we have any random encounters. I do have random encounters in here. I think what I'll do is region paint this area. Pong is the root of all evil, confirmed. What I want to do here is put a treasure chest right here, maybe a treasure chest right here, and a locked door right here. And the player, if they come here early, they can get a couple of free chests. But they don't come back here until after the end of the game, basically. Let me fix one more thing I see that's bothering me. I want to go like this. Bring this down like this. Feel better about that. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3 dead ends. 4 chests can go here. 5 a chest can go here. 6, 7, 8. 8 chests. So we're going to put 8 chests and a couple of consumable items on this map. So let's go to the eventing section. That's cool, Black Ruby Raven. Yep. That goes into what I was saying earlier, how creative outlets can be a great source of escapism and can help you deal with your issues. You self-published a story in 2016, but you haven't made any money on it. Hey, you gotta take some losses before you actually knock it out of the park. That actually goes into something I was saying earlier about most of the time you're not going to turn any profit. You're lucky if you get any return at all when you're publishing games. It's extremely challenging. And the market's very saturated. That doesn't mean you should give up. This is not a talk to deter you from trying to do such thing. But just when you go into it, get your head right. Don't think you're going to just make easy money making games. You have to love it. If you don't love it, you're going to fail at it. It's pretty simple. DVD says, I gotta ask, how do you stay motivated to work on your game? I have a big vision and have worked to achieve the game mechanics I want, but around every corner is more issues and distractions. I've been working on a multiplayer game. Is it an unachievable goal to accomplish? I don't even know if anyone would play it, really. DVD, is this your first game? I don't know if you should go for a multiplayer game as your first game, but don't let that stop you if that's what you really want to do. Sometimes we get, demotivated or unmotivated or uninspired is what I'd call it. Sometimes we become uninspired, and you just got to find your inspiration. What motivates you to do things, and really dig into that. What gives you the inspiration to keep going? Why do you want that end result? Why do you want that multiplayer game? Is that the multiplayer game that you want to play with your friends, or are you seeking recognition? Are you seeking money? Are you seeking the act of doing it? Is the act of creating it fun? Because that's a big thing. If you're not having fun making it, then what if you finish it and it flops? How are you going to feel? It's important not to tie your own personal values and your own personal sense of self-worth to an object or a thing or even a situation. So if you spend a couple years working on a project and you put it out and it doesn't sell, and you don't even get your $100 back that you spent to put it on Steam or whatever, don't tie that to your own sense of self-worth. That doesn't make you any less of a person because your game flopped. Just try to ask yourself, why are you doing this? If it's a fun thing that you like to do, then keep doing it. And try to learn from every mistake that you make, because you're going to make mistakes along the way. The most important thing is to find some lesson in the mistake. And if you can find a lesson in your mistake, then you're going to inevitably get better and better at whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And if you want to get better at something, there's no better way to get better at it than to fail at doing it. Because if you're open-minded and you're willing to take criticism and willing to accept where you've made your mistakes, you can, instead of being defensive about making mistakes, you can learn lessons, valuable lessons from making mistakes. Shadow Lord, how you doing? Good evening. If you're trying to make a multiplayer, another question I have DVD to you is, are you trying to use the RPG Maker MV engine for a multiplayer game? Because it's extremely difficult to do an MV, a good multiplayer game. Is it possible? Sure. You can put some PHP code in, or even like JS Node code in somewhere and make a multiplayer backend. But are you going to be able to make a multiplayer game with RPG Maker MV engine without some netcode? Absolutely not. The engine isn't designed for it. You'll have to learn to code with PHP or JS Node, or there's several other ways you can do it. There's lots of libraries. You can code some sort of server client netcode with C++ and find some way to integrate it. It's possible. It's not going to be easy to do. It's not like you can just download a plugin, put in a plugin, and then your game is seamlessly multiplayer. There's a couple plugins out there that do that, but one uses a PHP netcode. And one is very limited in what it can actually do and has a problem with refresh. And then you have the problem with, if it's going to be taken serious, how are you going to deal with hackers? Well, you can't stop hackers. You can only mitigate them and make it not worth their time. If there's any monetary reason for them to hack you, they're absolutely going to do it. So there's a lot of troubles. And do you really want to take on all that trouble? So once again, ask yourself, why do you want it to be multiplayer? Like, just because it would be cool? If you think you can bear the amount of work involved to make that a thing, then go for it. Don't let me stop you. But just know that it's highly unlikely that you're going to get a very good economy in any multiplayer game using the RPG Maker MV engine. I would suggest trying to make a really fun single-player game and see if you can make that. See if you can do that. Challenge yourself. Can you make a game and give yourself, like, say, 8 months or 9 months or even a year and say, I'm going to make this plan, make a little plan. Here's my goals. Write it out. I want to have these features. Don't be afraid to cut your features, because sometimes you're not going to be able to get everything that is in your vision. In order to, here's something that I heard on. It was some forum. It was some, like, where they were talking, and ideas are cheap. Execution is expensive. It's having a great idea doesn't do you any good unless you can execute on that great idea. So if you're unwilling to bend on a feature, you may eventually get that feature, but at what cost, right? If your goal is to put out something for free or for money, for financial reasons, then you're going to have to take some compromises if you want to do it in a timely manner, because technology will move on without you. Your project will quickly become out of date. The plugins that you're using, even core fundamental plugins for your project, will quickly become unusable. Now, does that mean that the systems and ideas, that functionality that you have in your game will go away? Potentially, but a lot of other people make new plugins to make that work. Let me do case in point here. HimeWorks made a plugin a long time ago, 2.5 years ago, that made instance actors. And I used that plugin to make a system in this game that would hire different party members, and you can assign their name and the way they look like. Not like SRD's Character Creator, much different, and less detailed, right? Just a way to give the player maybe 40 or so preset options, and then let them pick the name, the way they look, with some limitations, and the class that they are. Now this I don't need to go into the code of why it doesn't work anymore, but it's basically, it doesn't work in 1.6. And Arena just made a new plugin. Let me just throw this out there. Where is it at? I put it out here today. Plugin very similar. A recruiting board plugin. So I think that's pretty cool, and you know, I could still add that functionality to the game in a different way if I wanted to take this plugin and put it in the game. But this being a free game, I'm not investing too many paid resources into it, because I'm giving this out for free, so I can't logically, I can't see myself paying for that for this free game. Now, if I wanted that in Natural Explorers, a game I do plan to charge money for, then I would justify paying money for it because I plan to make a little return on it. Now, is that a guarantee? Absolutely not. It depends on if the game ever gets finished, if I'm able to execute, full circle back to executing on the project. But if you don't make sacrifices for your feature list, the technology is going to move on without you and leave your project in the dust, because the new engines come out. MV will be outdated at some point. And we'll look at MV the way we look at using like 2003 or XP at this point. Can you still make good games with them? Absolutely. I've seen lots of good games. Do people still use them? Yep, they sure do. Do they look very similar to a huge number of games you've already seen? Yep, they sure do. So, I don't know. I guess I was going off the point that you have to be willing to make some feature sacrifices. You can't expect every idea that you have in your head to come to full fruition if you plan on executing something properly. I really got off on a tirade today, but you guys are asking very good questions. It's a good conversation. Let me see what I've missed while I've been talking. That's true, Jamie. I love it when you watch a cutscene that you make. Jamie says it's just such a great feeling when you can sit back and see a good map or a scene that you made and go, I made that. And I totally can relate with that. I love when I get through a battle and I'm like, that felt like a hard, challenging battle, and it felt balanced, and it felt like whatever, like it was enjoyable. Or it's also fun when you see the progress, like not just its final state, but for me, when I see, oh, I know where it was, so the fact that it's here now, even though it's not my vision of what it should be, it makes me happy because I see where it was, and I can see the growth in between each iteration of it. Hello, Flight Gaming. He says, do you still do those game reviews of yours like before? Just curious. Yeah, I still do first impressions. I took a break from them for a while because I had a lot of stuff going on in real life. I don't need to go back into it, but, you know, long story short, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I also, my wife just had a baby, so there was a lot of stress going on. So I took a break from all that work, but it's coming back now. The first impressions are coming back now. And I've got a good diagnosis of everything, my health is good now, relatively, and my baby is growing healthy, and we've got a good schedule worked out where my wife goes to work, I watch the baby, and then she gets home, and then I go to work. That's why I changed the time that I live stream from 10 to 2, from 10 to noon, from 2 to 4, so that there's always somebody watching the baby. And when neither of us are working, we're both watching the baby. So we've got a nice schedule and thing worked out now, and first impressions are happening. If you would like me to play your game, I have a few slots open on the Patreon page, patreon.com/driftwoodgaming. If you want to back me and support what I do, even if you don't have a game, you can still back me. Just if you would like to support what I do. But if you're looking for a reason to, well, I will play your game on a live stream here for a small fee. It's just a BS filter. That's all it is. $20. So yeah, and I actually did one a couple days ago. I made a new first impression a couple days ago. Hey Blue Dragon, what's up? Jamie Cassidy says, is dropping some advice. Best advice I have is to only do what you want when you want to. If you miss something, make it. If you want a very specific story, write it. Make it into a scene. Well, sometimes I don't completely disagree. You gotta generally do what you want, but sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to. There's never gonna be a situation in your life where everything about it is, well, very rarely anyway, everything about it is something you want to do. Like, when you're making a game, if you're a solo indie person, you've got to wear all the hats. You've got to do all the things. And you may not want to do all of the things, but you're either going to pay for that, for someone else to do it, or you're going to do it yourself. So you can't, if you expect to release a project, only do what you want to do. You're going to have to, at some point, make a compromise with what you're able and willing to do to make the thing work. So you've got to be your promoter. Like, what if you love designing games, but you don't want to pay for ads, and you don't want to have to promote it? Well, you're going to need someone to do that, because you can make the greatest game in the world. If nobody knows about it, nobody's going to play it, and you're competing in a heavily saturated market. So after you're done with making your game, you've got to put on that promoter hat and go onto the forums, and go onto Discords, and go to YouTubers, and go to Twitch streamers, and go to Mixer streamers, and go to people who are playing those games and catering to your audience. Knowing your target audience is also very important, so you know where to put it. If you have a streamer play your game, and this person mainly plays first-person shooters, and you're telling him to play an RPG Maker game, you know his audience is not going to like that very much, and he or she is also not going to be your target audience. So you have to go to the person who has the audience for the games that you're trying to sell. So when you're done making your game, you've done the sound, you've done the art, you've done the music, you've done the design, you've done the story writing, you've done all the things that you may like some more than others, but you've done all those things. You're not done yet. You promote it. You have to go and promote it. You're selling it now. You have to let everybody know that it exists. You have to let them know what's special about it, if anything. You have to let them know the price you're asking about it. You have to let them know where to get it. You have to give them a quick TLDR on your game, and do your best so that people know about the thing that you made. So unless you love to do all of those things, if you plan to release a project, you may at some time have to do a little bit of things, a few things that you don't necessarily absolutely love to do. Excuse me. Okay. Stadnikova says, the most difficult thing for me to do is make a combat system, maintain balance, and also make it beautiful. I so hope I get what I'm up to. Everybody has their struggles, right? For me, it's mapping. I don't particularly enjoy mapping. I do it because it's a necessary thing. I do like it when I see a map, when I create a map that turns out well, but generally I'm never satisfied with my maps. Like, I don't particularly like this, but I'm just changing it here and there until it's something that I'm okay with. I'm staring at it long enough until I think it's okay. And somebody else made this map, and I'm not trying to talk down on it. I've changed it a lot, probably better in some spots, but probably worse in some spots. So, yeah, take it for what it is. Blue Dragon says, "Hey Drifty, quick question. Do you know of any good tutorials that teach you how to make a good hunger bar system and heart/love system? I've made a hunger bar system on Natural Explorers. If you watch my live streams for that, the Natural Explorer live streams, Let's Make a Game, you will see me make that. I highly edited the first 20 episodes or so it should be quickly, you should be able to get to it quickly, and then it went to a pure live stream where I kind of do like this for it. I do plan to go back to that once I get a little bit further in this, and release something for people to see. Stadnikova says, what if I don't really understand how Patreon works? Is there any way I can get you money around the site? One day my husband will finish translating the demo of my game into English. Yes, you could do a PayPal donation as well. I prefer PayPal, just because, I don't know, like, when you put out your game, are you going to just put it out and say, we're completely done with it, it's it, never touch it again? Most likely, you're going to be messing with the game a lot right after you first release it, because you're going to get a ton of bug reports, hopefully, right? And you're going to have to fix game-breaking bugs and put out a lot of stuff. And by backing me on Patreon, you get the promotion hat. You know, I will share that hat with you and help people know about, oh, the current version had this, but now we've got a new version right here. So I help you promote your game, and it's more than that. You can do the PayPal donation, but if you do the Patreon, it's like it's not just like a one-time trade. Like, you give me $20 and I play your game. It's more like we can keep working on it together. Like, it's all your game. I'm not going to make your game. I'm just saying I can help you get connected with the people who may have what you need, and that may be customers. Patreon's pretty simple. You create an account, and you can pay with multiple ways, and it's like a subscription service. You pay whatever you want, $1, $3, $5, $10, $20 a month, and you can cancel it at any time, and it bills at the same time every month. I think it's on the 3rd. Shadowlord says, I took your advice, and I'm using Unity for my first commercial game. It's coming on good. If you played Castlevania Lords of Shadow, my game is something like that sort of style. Oh, cool. I love Castlevania. Good luck with it. Unity's a tough engine, but there's a ton of resources for Unity. So you should have no shortage of resources if you decide to use the Unity engine. Jamie Cassidy says most people love a lot of what they do, but at least one or two things you just gotta do, right? Cool, Sora. Don't worry about it. Better late than never. Epic Mighty. Ah, yes. I remember when Drifty talked about my mapping. That's the problem with when you play a lot of people's games, you see a lot of high quality work. You see a lot of crap too, but you see a lot of high quality work. And then you compare yourself. It's not always healthy to compare yourself, but it's natural to sometimes look at this and look at what you're doing, and you're like, my stuff sucks. And the thing is, you're comparing yourself to not one person. You're comparing yourself to a crowd of ideas, and it's unhealthy to do that, really, because you're never going to beat that comparison. Because you, as one person, cannot be better at making sprites as another excellent sprite artist who may suck at making sounds or music, but they're amazing at making art, right? But you got to do all these things. And then you can't also, at the same time, compare your music to some amazing score that this one person does, but this other person may not be able to make any sprite art at all. So you're comparing yourself against the experts of every field, and it's unhealthy because you're not going to win in every field. And at some point, even though it's natural that we do compare ourselves, you're going to feel inadequate. And so try your best not to compare yourself too much. Just see what other people are doing, and try to take styles from other. Let the other styles influence you so that you can work on that sort of thing more, and be happy with what you've been able to create, because you can't be the biggest fish in every pond, if you know what I'm saying. But to go back to my original point, I've seen a lot of maps, and so I'm never satisfied with my own maps. I think most of them suck really hard, but I kind of compromise, and I accept them for what they are. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's gonna work. It's okay. That'll pass. And most of the time, we are our own worst critics. So keep that in mind too. A lot of the time, this is a common thing. We're going to assume that the things that we're good at, everybody's good at. And this is not the case. Because you think, oh, well, that's an easy thing, whatever this skill may be. Doing this sort of style of pixel art is easy because yada yada yada. It's just, you just do this and do that, and it just comes and it's easy. Anybody could do that. Not necessarily. Maybe many people could do that if they've gone through the sets of experiences that you have. So never sell yourself short, and don't assume that just because something is easy to you, it's easy to everybody. Flight Gaming asks, Drifty, do you have any tips for when creating animation for skills? I have this incessant need to stir it up a bit, just to make it not look stock. And in parentheses, I use mostly stock assets. Okay. Flight Gaming, excellent question. I've gone over this a few times in the past. I do. I have some great tips for you, Flight Gaming. Let's say you want to stir it up the game a little bit. You don't want like 100% stock assets, but you're not like amazing at making pixel art, and you don't have the time, or you don't have the time to make all these custom ones, but you want it to not look stock. Here's a quick tip for you, Flight Gaming. Go to your animations, take one of the stock assets, maybe something that's close to what you're looking for, like we'll see this one, and press Control-C, copy that. Change your maximum if you have to, but paste it down at the bottom. Now, a quick fix, quick, easy thing to do is to change the hue. Just slide the hue. So now you've got a blue flame, right? Now, within a matter of seconds, you've taken a stock asset and changed the color on it. Then we can double-click over here and maybe change the color of the flash. So we'll drop the red and raise the blue. Now it's got a blue flash. And we'll do the same thing right here. Boom, boom. So now it is a blue flash when you play it. Now we'll do the same thing. We'll take the sound effect. We can keep the same sound effect and change the pitch, or we can change the sound effect. So now we've changed the stock to completely different, right? And what did we actually do? Not very much. We changed the hue, we changed the color of the flashes, we changed the sound effect that plays, and it looks a bit different. If you want to go further, you can. There's batch and shift options. Let's go to the batch. So say we wanted to switch this up a little bit. Let's take all of the frames, Before you start batching, let me preface this. Before you start batching or shifting your projects or your animations, make a temporary backup. So we're going to make a backup on 481 in case we do a process on it that we don't like. There's no undo for this, so we're going to have to just make a copy. Like, say we got it where we want it similar, we want to switch it up a bit. We're going to make a quick copy of it, and then we're going to take the batch, and let's say we're going to take all the frames and all the cells and do something to it. So we're going to change the scale of it to be 75%. So that's going to make the entire thing a lot smaller. So maybe you want it to be a tiny thing. Or we can make the scale of it a lot larger. And then now we have a much larger version of that thing. And you can do whatever you want with this. Let's make all of the frames mirrored. And now it's reversed the angle of it. And all of this was very quick and easy. You didn't really have to do very much at all. So we've changed the size, we've changed the sound effect, we've changed the color, we've changed the not polarity, the direction of it. Let's say rotate the whole thing 180. Now this is going to mess it up, but so what? So now it's going to start the flame from the top and put it on the bottom. Maybe that's what you wanted, actually. That doesn't look too bad. So now this regular default animation looks like something that I've never seen before. I've never seen this animation until I created right now, and I've seen millions of animations play over the course of the years that I've done RPG Maker games, and this was created entirely with stock assets, but it's a new animation that no one's ever seen, most likely. We're using a pattern that's already set up that's never had this combination of size, this combination of image hue, this combination of this fire sound effect, the screen flash, this color, everything. Like all of the small little things, every extra step you take to change it makes it customized. And you really didn't have to spend too much time doing this, right? We didn't have to do too much to make that upside down blue flame. We're going to call this blue flare. Boom. It's a blue flare. We created a new animation using all stock stuff, right? Isn't that a good tip? Hopefully that helps you make some custom stuff. Good question. Parallax maps, DVD mentions about some parallax maps that have just blown minds. Like, they look great, and if they're small enough, they work fine too, but MV has a little bit of an optimization issue when it comes to big parallax maps. It's gotten better from several updates, but it still has problems. If your whole game is using parallax maps, and some of them are large, you're going to have some delay issues, especially when you have parallel processes happening while you're loading a parallax map. So you kind of got to be careful with when and how big when you use parallax maps and how big of a file size you're using for those parallax maps. DVD says I'm very bad at image manipulation. Well, you didn't have to manipulate it too much, right? It's pretty much, you drag a slider, you press a couple buttons, and you're not doing too much. You could also, I could go into another one, but let me catch up on chat. There's several ways to improve your animations. What's wrong with square maps? Why are they so bad? It shows that you haven't put enough effort into it. Because maps are squared by default, so it gives the illusion that you don't care about your maps, to me. Some maps need to be square, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, really, like, some maps, some things are built square, and they're supposed to be square. But when you can take a box map and take off some corners and add some rounded edges, it shows that you've put effort into it, and people like to see that the developer has tried to put some effort into the game. Catching up on chat. Yeah, and when people critique your maps, anytime you get critiqued about anything, it's generally a good idea to not get mad at the person who's saying these things that are negative about your whatever it is that you've created, because I mean sometimes people are just trolling and you need to just do your best to ignore that. But when someone is giving genuine feedback, try your best not to feel slighted by that. Don't feel like it's an attack on you personally. That goes back into the thing I was saying earlier about not connecting yourself directly to associating your worth with the things that you created or the things that you own. It's really important to distinguish the difference that you are not your expensive car. You are not your cheap piece of crap car, whatever your case may be, right? You are not those things. Those are things that you may own, but you are not those things. You are not your bad map. You have created a bad map. You are not your beautiful map. You may have created a beautiful map, right? But you are not those things. So if you can take that and see that this criticism is a gift to you, not an assault to you as a person, then you're going to go so much farther, because you can see these things as micro failures that you can learn lessons from. Every failure is a lesson in disguise, if you're open-minded about it. Jamie Cassidy says, yeah, nobody wants a yes, that is fine chain of feedback. Tell me what is good and what is bad so that I can fix it. Right. This is a tutorial now, I guess. Well, it was for a split second there. I don't know. I'm kind of just responding to what you guys are saying. Like, what I do is related to what's going on with the people who are watching me. That's the point of live streaming this, right? This would be much different if I was just talking to my microphones, recording me working on a map. It wouldn't be a good video if that's what it was. It's you can ask me something and get, my humble opinion on it, and also you get feedback from other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing, essentially. Flight Gaming said that was very helpful. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Another thing you can do, Flight Gaming, since you were so kind, you could go to Photoshop or GIMP and put filters on the images themselves, and that could also change it up a little bit. It's cheesy, but the thing is, we're trying to get something that looks different with a little bit amount of work. Right? Do I already have Photoshop loaded up here? I don't. I'll get that up real quick. Let's do something like that real quick, just for the sake of talking about how to make custom animations with the bare minimum amount of time investment so that you can pump them out quickly. We're going to use default stock assets, but we're going to use them in a way that hasn't been seen before, or even if it has, it'll be delivered in a different package. This one right here kind of looks funny. Let me just fix this. I guess that'll work. Anyway, I don't know why it always loads this on my other monitor. Let's fix that. Let's go to our IMG folder. So inside your project, you have an IMG folder, and then you have your animations folder. So in here, you have all of your animations that you've created. And let's take that flame one that we were looking at, because it seemed to be a good example. Doesn't really matter which one we grab. I just want to grab the fire one because it's the one we were messing with. So we have fire 1 here. So we'll take, maybe fire one too. Oh, they're different. They're actually, oh no, it's fire one. Anyway, it's the fire two. So here's our animation. Might have to change the mode. It's already RGB color. Okay. And we could just apply a cheesy filter on it. Now, this isn't always the thing you want to do, but once again, what are we trying to do? We're trying to make stock assets look different with as minimal amount of work as possible. So let's take this stock asset and put some kind of cheesy filter on it. Let's go with this cutout. It looks like kind of more pixel arty a little bit. I don't know. It has something. So what we've done is put a cheesy filter on it. Now we're going to save it as a different file name because we don't really want to overwrite them. So we'll save this as Fire2 Cutout. In the same folder as a PNG. That didn't take very long at all, did it? So let's go into here, and then we'll copy this blue flare, and we'll change the images from Fire2 to the Fire2 Cutout, and then we can make it something different. So now the animation looks even more different, right? It might even be a little bit hard to tell that it derived from stock stuff. If you look at the stock Fire 2, and then you look at the one that we've changed up quite a bit. So here's the stock one, right? See that a few times. And then we compare that to this thing. They look very different. Different color, different size, different direction, different sound effect, different graphics even. We've used different graphics. And we didn't really put very much effort into it, right? We changed some sliders, changed a couple things, and clicked Add Filter. And this is perfectly acceptable to do, and I highly recommend that you do this instead of using stock animations because it doesn't take very much work. It takes a little tiny bit of creativity, which I gave you the methods to do that. So we'll call this a purple flare because, we just made another custom animation. I like David Cage games too, Jamie Cassidy. Purple flare OP. Yeah, anything that's purple has got to be OP. Alright, maybe I'll get some work done on the game. Let me test. I actually have a save that's toward the end of the game. Let me just load and test the transfers. So I'm going to just simply test the transfers. Let me load this. Oh, this was at the last boss. That's fine. We'll use it. I'm just going to run. I want to do some more bug testing. Make sure that if I put this in the game, it's not going to lock the players, mess it up. I named it Purple Flare? Well, I think I should leave it that then. The purple flare. Because the player's not going to see the name of the animation anyway. Here's the mysterious cave. Now it has a name. It has a transfer event. Goes in here, and the transfer event does take us back out. That's good. Let's walk around the map, see if we can walk through any walls, any weirdness that really sticks out. Test the Tarak sliding. I think these guys will die in like one hit, so we'll go ahead and take them out. Or we can just miss. I feel like I can change the coloring on this map. I also feel like the encounter rate's too high. Let me just not adjust it yet, but I'm going to adjust it. Let's see how much I need to adjust it by. yeah, it's definitely not the right encounter rate. Feels hella grindy. What are we at? 30? Oh, no wonder. No, we're going to do 60. And we'll add more encounters, higher level encounters. Definitely going to do that. And then we'll say on the second level, it's a little bit more, 55. We'll make higher encounters here too. But I essentially just want to walk around on these maps and get a feel for what it's like. I'm actually going to eat my repel potion. I'm going to eat the whole potion so there's no encounters, because it's just too much of an encounter rate at this point. There we go, create a repel. So this map could be darker with torches. I think that's what we're going to do. I'll take the tint off of it. Okay, I see another little thing that I need to fix. On this one. Nope. Nope. This one. We don't need two of these to both say Mysterious Cave, because it just is redundant. You can't even read either one of them. Okay. The same thing with the other map. Let me go here. They don't both need to say Mysterious Cave. Just one. But the transfers work. Just testing all the transfers. Okay. There'll be collectibles. We gotta add events to these maps. Maybe get some ore from those boxes and water and whatnot. And then this will go to a different map. Or maybe a cutscene. Maybe that's where the cutscene will be. This looks weird right here. Let me fix that. Looks stupid. Looks kind of weird. Let's go like... There we go. So let's put torches in this cave. I mean, that's good for the test play. That'll do. Suppose I can save it here. Let's throw some torches in the cave. We'll take it from... I guess there's torches all over the place. I'll use the same torches. don't want it to be very dark in here. I want there to be lots of torches. You guys are having a good discussion in here. I'm not ignoring the chat. Thank you, DBD, Jamie Cassidy. You guys are awesome. Yeah, criticism is good when it's constructive, aka the constructive criticism thing. Do I play Minecraft? I have played Minecraft. I own Minecraft. I don't play it very often. The last time I played Minecraft was actually not that long ago. I think like most people probably saw PewDiePie and maybe a few other people playing Minecraft and got inspired to play it again. I also fell to that. I've also fell victim to that, I guess. We ended up buying another copy of Minecraft for T's computer. So and I set up a server and we played for a good evening. It was fun, but I actually haven't played it since that night, which was a while ago. Let's walk around. Oh, I changed the map. It's okay, I can hold Alt and fix it. Boom. Alright. Yeah, wow. It looks so much better, doesn't it? Oh no, we're out of repels. Didn't the cave just become so much better that we added some more Chirac lighting? Gosh. I changed the encounter rate, but it's still gonna get me in battles. Much better. It's not like a huge dark screen, but it is a bit darker, and you get more of a sense that you're in a cave. I'm just gonna retreat. I like it. I thought I was going overboard with torches, but no, I didn't want it to be dark. Let's check the other map as well. Huh. That's weird. When you go up these stairs, you can't go left or right. Like you're stuck on going up one or up the other. Huh, I didn't know that. It could be used like a sort of a bridge then. Do I play Elder Scrolls? I have played Elder Scrolls. I've been playing since the first one I played was Morrowind. Was that the third one? It was the third one. Yeah, Morrowind, and then I played Oblivion. I liked Morrowind more than Oblivion. Skyrim came out. I liked Skyrim, but I quickly got bored of it for some reason. But then I've played several times off and on Skyrim with mods. I think if you play with mods, the game stays fun for a long time. Skyrim with mods is great. I didn't play ESO. I never played Elder Scrolls Online. But it's not that I didn't want to. It's just like I didn't have time. I've never had the time for another MMO. I've played plenty of MMOs. I tend to play Final Fantasy XI every year for 1 to 2 months. It seems to be the thing. Every year I go back to Final Fantasy XI for 1 to 2 months. And I never go into it thinking I'm just going to play for a month. I go in and thinking, well, let's see how long it keeps my interest. It's always 1 to 2 months that it keeps my interest. I play Final Fantasy XIV. I've gone back. I've played it since beta, and I played a lot less of 14 than I played 11. I think overall I probably subbed to 14 for a total of a year over its entire existence. I don't have the most recent expansion. I haven't played for a good, I don't know, maybe a whole year. It's been a year since I played 14. I played 11, which I've already unsubbed again this year. I played 11 for a couple months. And then I quit playing a couple months ago. So maybe like resubbed 4 months ago and then played, maybe it was 1 month this time. I think it was 2 though. No, it was 2. Anyway, I like the way that this map is. But what I want to do is put a door that blocks the player from getting past it, because you can get here early on, which is not what... I don't want the player to be able to go explore this entire side area early on. But I want them to be able to come back to, like, right here, after they beat... We have to make a key, and we have to put the key somewhere, and make it so that you can get that key after you've beat the game, essentially. So this is where you come to find Lydia and Tiana, to add them back to the party after you've beat the game. So let's continue doing that. So, right here, we need to make like a locked door. Essentially just like a gate. Locked gate. And it will have this. And if you try to interact with it, it will say, this gate is locked. It looks like a skull key is needed. And this will pop up at dim top. And it will not be below, it'll be same as characters. And we can put, let's zoom in a little bit actually. Edit the map slightly. We can put it like this, copy this, paste this, and make this image the top part of it. This doesn't need anything, and this will actually be set to above characters. This is just for graphics. And to get past this gate, you would have to interact with it, and we'll run a conditional branch right here, checking to see if the party has an item. It would be a key item, though. So let's go 59. So it says that no matter what, but if you have item 59, well, before I forget, let's make item 59. And item 59 is going to be a skull key. Huh. You'd assume that there'd be a key on, like, VX Ace icon set. There's probably a key on the MV icon set, but I don't like the MV icon set at all. This'll work. Skull key. This key opens the skull gate in the mysterious cave. Like, I'm just going to give the player that information, because why not, right? It's not consumable, even though we're going to, like, take it, we're going to consume it. We'll say you never can use it, it has no scope, that way the player isn't able to eat the key, and it'll have no price, so we'll say cannot sell. You could give it a price and put this note tag, so, or you can leave it 0, you don't actually need this note tag. Doesn't need animation, doesn't need anything. It's just going to be a key item. It's literally a key item. Okay, so that's all it needs to do. And now we just award that at some point. What's my first Castlevania game? Symphony of the Night, maybe? Y'all, RPG Maker MV guys, ever work with Melderson's online plugin? I've seen it before. I've seen lots of interesting multiplayer plugins. SRD was working on one at a time. It never got done. Nelderson had one. I found it lackluster. Nelderson's great, by the way. And there was another one. It was using a PHP net code. I think it was, I don't know, was it the alpha one? Isn't there an alpha multiplayer? I think that was JS. I'm not sure. I loved the enchanting and like spell creation and potion creation in Morrowind. So many arrows, so many knees. Do I have a PS4? Yes. Are you excited for the FF7 remake? Kind of, Nathan. I mean, I hope for the best. I remember liking it as a kid, but when I went back to play it, I'm like, oh god, I cannot play this game anymore. They desperately need to remake 7, that's for sure. It is not playable anymore. No, I have not forgot about the things that happened in 7. I really thought 7 was interesting, to say the least. Cloud dresses up as a woman and possibly gets assaulted by a group of men. Yeah, that happens. That's canon. Flight Gaming says, I know this is a big segue, but I just got hired. Congratulations, man. Been looking for a job for almost a month now. Just wanted to share. The stream has been very lucky for me. Way to go. That's awesome. What did you get hired to do? Just curious, Flight Gaming. Big props, dude. Congratulations. I hope you find the work fulfilling, and I hope you make good money. Oh yeah, it's not going to be anything like the original, except for the theme. The theme and most of the story, that's it. The rest of it, it's a whole new game. It's not a remaster like they do with all these other games. Do you want a Mario RPG sequel? Heck yeah, Mario RPG was amazing. I liked it. Your dog is afraid of fireworks? Most dogs are. I'll be on for another 20 minutes or so. Maybe longer, I don't know. Take care, Skepsis. See you when you get back. Okay. So now that we have this, if the party has the skull key, then we're going to control a switch. Actually, we'll do a sound effect. Yep, that'll work. And we will turn on the switch. Skull gate open. And then we do a movement route. Or wait, does this have a movement route? No, not the one I'm using. But it probably has a animated gate somewhere in here. So it'll swing open and disappear. You know, it really doesn't matter too much. What we'll do is just have it disappear. And we create a new page where if the switch skull gate opened is on, it's a blank page. And simple door, very, very simple door. New page, if the switch gate is open, then it just disappears. So we're going to put a chest here, so we might as well do that now. But for the sake of testing this door, in the chest we're going to put the skull key, but that's not where the skull key is going to actually be. So we're going to put a chest here, and in here we're going to award the skull key, not with armors. We'll change that chest up. Let's go ahead and test to see if the door works like it's supposed to. The gate is locked. It looks like a skull key is needed. This needs a sound effect, like kunk, when you interact with it. So it'll play a sound effect first thing when you interact with it, like you're trying to open it. There we go. And then we'll do show choice. I mean, I guess why not? Use the skull key. I dare not open this door. So this option will only present itself if you actually have the key. So if you do have the key, then you'll be presented with a choice. Otherwise it'll just say that. In fact, I don't want it on dim top. I want to put it dim bottom. The gate is locked. It looks like a skull key is needed. If they have a skull key, it'll give the choice to use the skull key, and then it'll say, I dare not open this door, or use the skull key, right? Okay, and so if they say, use the skull key, wait, not a question, use the skull key, then it'll play a sound effect, and it will open the gate, and the party will still have the key, but we can actually remove it I'm gonna leave the part. It's a key item. We'll let the party have it. Doesn't matter. It would be smart to remove excess items, but this will give me another thing like, oh, if the party is a skull key, you can get this, so we know they've beat the game, basically. Skull key will be you've beat the current version of the game. So let's close this, test it again. The gate is locked, looks like a skull key is needed, and that's all it says. And at the beginning, you won't have it. The key won't be here, you'll get something else, but I need to figure out what I'm going to put there. And I'm going to put another chest on the left side too. Get out of here, turtle. So the party can come here early to get a couple of free chests. Use the skull key. I dare not open this door. So if you use it, boom, the door's open and you have access. We're making progress. We're making progress. So where do we put this chest? Let's put this chest in the Uruk Castle. Right here. So essentially you have to go back into the castle and make your way all the way back up here and go over here to get the skull key. And the skull key or let's actually go like the party may never people may never find that. They'll be like, where's the skull key? Because you're going to be teleported out. Let's put this right here the whole time in their face. So during this whole cutscene, you see a chest there. So the player knows there's a treasure right there that you have to come back and get. It might frustrate the player because I teleport them away from it. I don't want to frustrate the player. Also, when you get the skull key, well, why can't you open these doors? That is another question that'll pop up. So why don't we do the same thing? We replace these doors with the skull key doors. However, what is this being presented on tile set D? So let's change this chest. What would the party get? Now this is early on. When the party first gets the boat, who are they going to have? They could potentially go here when they have Lydia, Driftwood, Arcturus, Olguin, before and after they get Olguin, before and after they get Tiana. So at the very earliest, you would have Driftwood, Lydia, and Olguin. Oh, Arcturus. Okay, so you've got those three people. Let's give something nice to make it worth coming to get here, coming here to get it. But it's not something overpowered that'll make it easy. And something that you would want to go here early if you needed the help. So it can't be like something that... Maybe it's not an item. Maybe it's a weapon or an armor. Let's change armor and add some kind of armor. Tome of Experience. Hold on. Let's 846. Let me double check what the Tome of Experience does. %, extra experience gain. That's pretty solid. I think that's what we're going to give. The Tome of Experience is right here. Oh, excuse me. Tome of Experience. That's worth coming to get. Early on in the game, you can give it to somebody at 20% extra experience. Let's copy this, put another one over here, but something different. Maybe not as good as that, but something else. Another thing that'll be good. Maybe a miner's kit? I don't know. What about a Shell the Leech? There's none of those for a while. Like, early on that would be good. A little bit of Life Leech. And it's not too strong. That's perfect. That is IA151. What that does is let all of your skills and attacks drain 5% of, like, you get life back when you hit or use your skills, if you have that equipment. So that's a good one. So 5% life leech and a 20% experience bonus. It's worth going out of your way on the boat to pick that up. It's definitely worth it now. Let's throw some chests for... Now after this door, we're talking end game. This is early game, when you can first get here, and then end game is when you have access to the key. So after you get through the gate, we'll throw a bunch of other chests around. Now we're looking at end game, so we can pretty much give some much better stuff. Let's give some gear. Let's go with, you're able to craft up to Diozite, so Morphite would be even past that. So let's go with like a full Morphite set in here. A Morphite helmet, that is armor 59. Let's copy this and zoom out a bit and see where the dead ends are. So you're going to go up over here. This would be the most out of the way. This is going to be the Morphite chest plate. That is 79. Oh, they shouldn't be all. It's called X-Tone. Morph set. Chest. This is morph set. Helm. Copy this. Here's another dead end up here. This is the Morphite set plate gloves. Morph set gloves. Change this to 99. Copy this. You go up that way, but if you go down this way, there's a chest here. This is Morphite set boots. Which is, my math is correct, it'd be 119. This is the morph set boots. Copy this. You can go this way for something and this way for something. Morphite set shield. That is 139. morph set shield. Copy this. Is there another item that I need to do? Let's see. That's it. That's the full set. That's a lot. That's a really good, worth running around here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got head, chest, boots, gloves, shield. And maybe a morphite weapon somewhere. Well, we have a whole nother cave. So, this will be a dead end. The only dead end, well, this here as well, but it's a very small dead end. So these two areas give you nothing. Because they're just too easy to get to, you have to do this main path anyway. But this one you have to go here. This one you have to go all the way to there. Okay, so that's good. Good rewards. And then over here we have another, the next area. You come up, we'll say there's a chest here. And then here's what we'll give morphite weapons. Okay, so we have to change it up. Change weapons. Well, then we kind of defeat the purpose of mining up to the Diozite for weapons. I imagine I'll change this come the next iteration of the game. We're going to do it anyway. This would be 59. This is IW, items from weapons, 59. I have a hypothetical question. If you beat this update that you're about to roll out, will your progress transfer over to the next update? I think you could, yeah. You would download the new version, and then you would take your save files and copy paste your save files. You know what? I might actually make a tutorial on how to do that. It might break some save files. I'm not gonna lie. It might break some save files, but I guess I could allocate a safe spot that will be unchanged. And if you have both versions, you could make it work and save in a lot. Like, you'll be able to do that, yeah. If you can copy paste a folder, you'll be able to do that. Morph set dagger. Copy. Paste. So you have to go this way to proceed to the next area, so I won't put any more chest over here. But I'll put like consumables that you can collect. But I'll put a chest here. Morph set sword. 79. This, put one over here, and this would be the gun. Morphite set gun. So you have to beat the last boss in order to get this stuff. And put 2 and 2 together. Like, you have to just find it, you know. I'll put one here. Morphite katana. But this will help you beat super bosses in the arena, which I need to add a few more. I need that tutorial. How do you make English subtitles? There should be a little cogwheel where you can select the subtitles and then change them to English. If you're watching on YouTube, you should be able to do that. You can call me Bay. I don't care. Did we already do the katana? This was dagger. This was sword. This was gun. This is katana. Okay. Now let me copy this. Paste this one here. This one is Morphite staff. Copy this one here. This is Morphite mace. Oh, I'm not updating the text. Let's do that. The mace is 159. 159. The staff is 139. The katana is 119. The gun is 99. And the other one's 179, so that's fine. Copy here. I suppose we can put a chest over here. This is the harp, Morphite harp, 179. Oops. That is the staff. That is the mace. That is the katana. That is the harp. That is the gun. That is the sword. The sod. So I think that's it. I mean, we have claw, but there's no character that can use the claw yet. April Delvin, how you doing? Your brain isn't functioning yet? You need some more coffee. Well, Doc, I'll have to test to see if it breaks it before I make a tutorial on it. But I think you'll be able to load. I'll try to make it so that you could load newer versions of this with this and beyond. Gosh, let me be more descriptive. If you play this game a year from now and there's another update that comes out, you should be able to load your save game from this next version that I put out. Hopefully. I'm going to do my best to see if it'll work. So now these caves have been set up with everything except harder enemies. And as well as this doesn't lead to anywhere, so this will have to lead to another map. Currently it doesn't lead to anywhere, because I don't have a map for it. But what I could do is make this lead to the summoning circle, to where you find Lydia and Tiana trapped in a cell or something, and you come to rescue them. Or I could just put the cell right here, instead of making this lead to another map, which, I mean, I do kind of like that. It would go to another map, but it's dense and deep enough. Let me just change the map up a bit Well, I maybe it should go to another map that is essentially just a bunch of cells. Nathan asked, have I ever used the generator? Yeah, I've used the built-in dungeon generator. It's not that great. It's just like... it's too basic. I wish it had more functionality. I really do. It'd be cool to auto-generate a bunch of maps. I like the progress on this map. It was slow at the start, but we've turned these two maps into a good base. From a good base, and we took it into a much more walkable map. It's got Tirax lighting. We've got torches everywhere. We've populated it with chests. We made it so that it's locked off from the end game, so you get some good items if you come here early, but you can't get into all of this until the end, and then by the time you get here, you'll be at the end of the game, or you've already beat the game essentially. This is like the continuation of continuing to play. Continuation of continuing to play. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna say that's it right there. After you beat the boss and seeing the end credits, you can go here. So this would teleport to a new map. So let's go to new map, and this will be dungeon. This will be the Mist Cave Teleporter. Display name: Mysterious Cave Teleport Area. Teleport room. Teleporter. Let's go with like something small, like 30 by 30. We'll say no encounters here. And we'll just add that map. And like here's the generator. You'd right click and say generate dungeon. And boom. We've got it. You know. It'll work, but it's kind of like, it's very basic. It's a good way to start. Let's let's widen this up a bit, so we'll go like that. And then take this and go like this. Go like this. So we've had the wide passage going on here. Let's take this section and bring it down one. And then also take this section and bring it down one. I like that a little bit better. And then we'll say that this is where you are teleported. You come in from right there, and then we'll make the teleport circle right there. But this will be a cell or something like that. Or we'll make the cell right here and the teleport circle right here. But then it's like, well, how did you get in here? Like, or how did you get in your set? How did you, I don't know. Okay, I have an idea. I think we'll try it like this. First of all, I'm going to make the teleport circle thing, which is right here. Boom. These will be boxes, so like supplies, I guess. Because they'd be like, well, how are you going to survive here? What if we make like a little bit of water, so like there was like a lake here or something, a stream that ran through here, something like that. Okay, that works. And we just got to make a gate somehow, and it's not easy to make a sideways gate work visually. So what we'll do is make it somehow like it's right here. And then we can move this even. Right there. No, that's not very centered. Let's try that. I don't know, I kind of like where it was. Yes, there it is. Boom. And then we also have to solve, like, okay, you get these party members back. What do you get? The elemental pistol. Like, what happens with that? Can you use it to teleport? I'm gonna say no, because it might make things difficult on me. Trying to track where the player's airship is, and if the player can get themselves stuck and not remember which portal they went into, it could be a nightmare. So what we'll do is, after the players, let's essentially take these events, paste it, event layer, paste it, and then copy this, paste it, the skull key, this will need their own switch, won't it? Yeah. Let's make Skullgate 2 opened. Skullgate 2 opened. And set this to be Skullgate 2. Otherwise it'll be, you won't see this gate because the switch will be on when you get to it, based on opening the first gate. Alright, so you get here, you're presented with opening the gate. When you open this gate, you walk up, and then you're going to see, we have to make a cutscene. You're going to see some events here. You're going to see Lydia and Tiana here. So Lydia is going to be like this. And Tiana is going to be right here. And so when you walk on this tile, so we'll say below characters player touch, control trigger. What happens is it turns the switch on. So we control a switch. We're going to say Tiana, Lydia, join. Tiana and Lydia join. Rejoin. Okay. So as soon as you walk on this switch, it does that. And the new event page will be if Tiana, Lydia joins, and this is nothing. copy that one. I paste it here. So whenever the player walks on either of these tiles, it's going to turn on a switch, and then the switch is going to activate a controller event, which we'll make over here. This is a scene controller, and the requirements being that the switch is on. This will be an auto run. So when that switch turns on, it's going to fade out the screen, wait 20 frames, turn off the transparency, change transparency, we'll turn on the transparency, and then do a movement route. Oh no, not yet. We need more events, right? We need all of the players. Just a small cutscene, but at least it sums up, ties up some loose ends. Yeah, we're just going to do movement route. But before we actually do the movement route, let me hit OK. And make Arturus and his switch condition is that one. Driftwood. Holguin. And Dark Hero. Alright, so now that we've got our events, we can set our movement routes. Actually, I want to make all of these set to be through. In case we have a movement route issue, it doesn't lock up the game. So let's do a simple movement route. Well, it actually we do a dialogue first. Let's show text. Name, Driftwood. Tiana. Yeah, I just like that, like a hail. It's like a greeting, like Tiana, or just like, whoa, look at me, blah blah blah. Then the movement route starts, and like everything's going to be moving. So we'll see a balloon icon, exclamation on Tiana, and then the same thing on Lydia, and then we see movement route of Tiana, turn right. Oh, let's do some waits to make it not just instantly happen. Wait 10 frames, turn right, and then copy for Lydia, but hers ours will be wait 20 frames, turn right, but there's no actual wait for completion. We need to turn the wait for completion off. We're putting our own manual waits in. 20 frames is too much. Let's do 5 and 10. This should happen relatively quickly. And then we have another movement route of the whole party. We'll say Driftwood is going to move left, left, turn down, or move down. One, two, no, left, down, and then, so, 2 left and down, and he'll have a 5 frame wait. And then we have Tiana, wait 5 and then move up. We have Lydia, wait 5 and then move right, move right, move right. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, 1, 2, 3. She goes up. She goes right 3 times. Then we have. Let's see. We're gonna have Arturus move left, and then face down, turn down. He's gonna wait 10 frames. Copy this. Left. No, he's gonna go left 1. Dark Hero's gonna go left, face down. But Arturus is going to just go left. He's gonna go left. And then we have Olgwyn, who's gonna go down, left. We'll have like another wait in there. That might work. That's the movement route that happens. So like Tiana, and then everybody moves, blah, 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 blah. And then we have some text, and it's going to be like, let me see, text could go at the bottom, show text, window at the bottom. This will be Tiana. She's going to be like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. I'm so sorry I touched the gun. Giggity. I didn't know. And then Drifty will be like, I'm so happy that you guys are safe. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the gun. Everything's okay now. I guess that could be on a new line. Don't worry about the gun. Everything is going to be okay. And then Olgwyn will be like, I'll pop in, I'll be like, it's my fault. have warned you beforehand. Should have warned you before. I'm also sorry. And then it'll be like, Lydia needs to say something too. Lydia's gonna say, it's a good thing we had fresh water, or we'd have certainly died of thirst here. And then Tiana will say, we've tried to escape several times. The gates back there would not budge. And then Lydia will be like, we tried to swim out of here. We even tried to swim out of here a couple of times, but the currents take you directly into the ocean. We'd certainly drown. We'd certainly drown. And then Arturus will say something like, we're just happy to see you guys again. Let's get you out of here. And then I guess what we should have a Dark Hero say something. So these lovely ladies, he's a bard, are who we've been looking for all this time. I must say that I would not abandon them either. And then Lydia is going to be like, who the hell are you? Not that I'm unhappy or to see you or ungrateful at all, but who are you? And then he's going to be like, my apologies, dear lady. I'm called Dark Hero. You can call me Dark. For sure. And then she's gonna be like, it's nice to meet you, Dark for short. And then we'll have a little question mark bubble. On Dark Hero. and then everyone, except for Lydia and Dark Hero, will get the I don't know. Maybe not, because there's no icon for it. Yeah, the bubbles. Take them or leave them, really. And then I guess Dark Hero will just be like, oh, music note. And then Tiana will say it's something like, it's nice to meet you, Dark Hero. Oh, another thing I forgot, because I gotta put the names, right? 11. I think I'm going with 11. All the names. Let me go back and start doing that real quick. See. Let me make sure it's that green color. It is, okay. Dark for short. Okay, so they're at, they move the bit, blah blah blah. They do their little talkies. Arturus is we'll cut the let's go like this. We're just happy to see you guys again, and then he comes in again at this point and says, now that we're all acquainted. Acquainted? How do you spell acquainted? Discord. Acquainted? Nope, that's acquainted. A-C-Q-U-A-I. Acquainted. There we go. Now that we're all acquainted, we should get out of this cave. And then Tiana's like, that's the best idea I've heard all day. And then Lydia is like, thanks for finding us. And then Tiana is like, yeah, thanks for getting us out of here. And then she's like, oh, and please take this stupid gun. Baldwin. And then Lydia's like, good call, Tiana. Besides, I think it's broken now. We've tried to use it again to get out of here, but it won't work. But it doesn't work anymore. That's a good explanation. Doesn't work anymore. Wait, this is not going to work right. It doesn't work anymore. And then, I guess, where's Olgun? What does he say? He's gonna chime in. Oh, Tiana can. Now we can show that animation that I worked hard to play. Show this animation on Tiana. It's the gun animation. I don't know where I put it. Elemental pistol small. It's probably going to go to the left, so I might need to change Olgun. I can change the move event. I'm just going to see what it looks like. Or we could just have her throw it in the water. Let's see. Oh, and now that you're here, take this stupid gun. Take this stupid gun. And she throws it in the water. Take this stupid gun! And she just throws it in the water. I mean, because that's the way the animation is. I could reverse the animation too. But maybe I just let it be. Let's play. What I think is going to happen is it's going to fall in the water. So let's make a sound effect. A little flies in the water. And then Lydia's like, good call. Besides, I think it's broken now. We've tried to use it again to get out of here, but it doesn't work anymore. Then Olgun is like, I'm sorry this happened to you guys. I promise to protect you in the future. So now that's like his motivation to stay with the party. And then Driftwood's like, yeah. Driftwood is just like, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here now. Perfect. And I mean, I suppose we could do another move event, but it's not going to add very much. We're going to do a fade out screen. Did I ever do the fade in? Nope. Sure did not. Let's do the fade in screen. Fade in, then all of this happens. Move events, move events, move events, text, 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 balloon icons, text, animation sound effects, text, fade out the screen, wait 20 frames, change the transparency off, change the party members. So let's go here to change party members and re-add Tiana. Not initialize though, we don't want them to start over. And we want to add Lydia. So you have your options at the end. Have your choosing of who you want to use of your 6. And then fade in the screen, I guess. Fade in the screen. And self switch. Control a self switch. A new event page where self switch A is here. So all of that happens, it fades in the screen, self switch A. Wait. Tiana and Lydia rejoin, switch is on. if we just turn that switch off, then everything goes away and we don't need to self switch. But then we need to rename it so that it makes sense. So what we'll call it, instead of self switch and instead of second page, we simply turn this switch off. So let's go to control switches, and we're going to select Tiana and Lydia return, but we're going to call this Tiana and Lydia cutscene. Now it works. And we turn this off, which will turn this page off so it won't be here. It won't meet the requirements to play it. And we'll cut this and put this first. It should still fade in the screen though. It should finish this before this run, but just in case it doesn't, I'll do it like this. Fade in the screen and then turn this cutscene off. It will make all of these things that have Tiana and Lydia cutscene disappear. And it should work. Oh. But then it's going to turn the cutscene on and turn self switch. Wait a minute. Because this whole thing is controlled by this. So this turns the cutscene on. And if we turn it off and we walk right here back on this tile again, it's going to run the whole cutscene again. So we have to do something different. At the end, we do the self switch idea, or we just do another switch. So we'll make another switch. Control switches. This will be Tiana and Lydia join. Boom. Turn that one off. So we don't have to turn this one off at the end. What we do is we create a new page that has this cutscene. It'll say Tiana and Lydia joined, so then once they've joined, this will happen, nothing will happen. It'll just stop this from auto-running. And then we make a new page on all of these events that say Tiana and Lydia joined, so then this is a nothing. New page, Tiana and Lydia joined, so this does nothing. New page, Tiana and Lydia joined, so this does nothing. And so forth and so on. Now the fun part is to test it out. Oh, I will have to give myself the key because I took it away. So let's go to the castle, take this chest, and go to the cave at the front, and put this chest right there. It's not going to be there when you actually play, but for the sake of testing this, so I don't have to run across the map and all that stuff. Another thing I want to do, actually, just for the sake of testing, is put some greater repels in here. So I'm going to just change items and add a few greater repels, let's say like 10 of them. It'll make this faster. Okay, let's use a greater repel. And then we test the door, use the skull key, it lets us in. Lots of good chests, but we're just going to test an ending cutscene, so we don't need to get these chests. Oh, you know what else we didn't do? Gosh. Transfer events. We didn't do any transfer events. So let's go to this one right here and do a transfer event. What I'll do is, to make it simple and easy, I'll copy this one, go here, paste it here, take this, put this to Mysterious Cave Level 2, and then change where this takes you to go to here. Takes you right there. And you face down, fading to white, boom. And then we can take this one, go here, paste it here, and call this one to level 3, because, I mean, you don't want it to put, say, teleporter at this point. You could, it won't matter, but just to, because. Now this goes to here, here, and it's fade to black, facing up, and we're essentially going to take this same thing, copy, paste it here, but get rid of the text on it, paste it. Try again. Now we have teleporters. Okay, let's get the open the skull key. Let's use a greater repel. I should update that so that it says, it plays an animation and says you've used a greater repel. Something. Good, the gate is here. Gate is locked, it looks something something. Let's say I dare not. They both say the same. Let's use the key. Oh, okay, bug. Let's go here and check this one out. Skullgate open. I forgot to say that this changes the switch for Skullgate to open. Yep. That's fixed now. So now no matter which side you open, it'll open that up. Oh, I should have saved it before I... Let's do a quick save on 21 here. So that if I have a problem, I come from here. So let's watch this out. Oh, okay. There's a little bug there. The fade out doesn't happen. I have to reorganize that. Tiana. And then everybody moves. Driftwood, I'm so sorry I touched the gun. I didn't know. I'm so happy that you guys are safe. Don't worry about the gun. Everything is going to be okay. It's my fault. I should have warned you before. I'm also sorry. It's a good thing we had fresh water, or we'd certainly died of thirst here. We've tried to escape several times. The gates back there would not budge. We even tried to swim out of here a couple times, but the current take you? The current takes you. Okay, so let's fix that little typo. The current takes you. Directly into the ocean. We'd certainly drown. We're just happy to see you guys again. So these lovely ladies are who we've been looking for all this time. I must say that I would not abandon them either. Not that I'm unhappy to see you or ungrateful at all, but who are you? Ah, my apologies. He should be moving left 2 more times. He should immediately from the start move left 2 more times. So wherever Dark Hero is, I want him to move left 2 more times. Move left before he turns down. Because he's kind of talking to Lydia a little bit. And then when Lydia should move up when she says that thing, or face up. So right here, movement route for Lydia, she should turn up. Okay. Ah, my apologies, dear lady. I'm called Dark Hero. You can call me Dark for short. It's nice to meet you, Dark for short. It's nice to meet you, Dark Hero. Now that we're all acquainted, we should get out of this cave. That's the best idea I've heard all day. Thanks for finding us. Yeah, thanks for getting us out of here. Oh, and now that you're here, take this stupid gun, Olgwyn. So she should turn right before she says that. So let's go and find that text. Boom. This should be Tiana. and she turns right. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see where the animation plays. She throws it into the water. Good call, Tiana. Besides, I think it's broken now. We've tried to use it again to get out of here, but it doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry this happened to you guys. I promise to protect you in the future. Let's get out of here now. So we have the fade out doesn't quite go as smoothly as I want it to. Maybe we have to change the way that this something. Let me look at the event. So we're going to fade out the screen, and then we're going to wait longer. Let's fade out, wait 1 second. Edit fade out, wait a single second, turn the transparency on, and then fade in the screen. But the problem is, the Tiana and Lydia cutscene occurs before this fade out even happens. So it's not this. This could be 30 frames, it's fine. But what needs to happen is all of these things need to be operated with a separate switch. This is going to be called CS Fixer. We're going to call it that. So these won't be on until CS Fixer is turned on. Let's toggle this. They need their own switch so that I can control when they're supposed to be there. Wait, dang it, cancel that one. Yes. Come on, brain. This switch. Oh, they're here from the get-go. You know what? These two are fine where they're at. Okay. So we fade out the screen, we wait 30 frames, and then we toggle a switch, we control a switch, and we turn on the CS Fixer, right? And then at the end of this entire thing, we fade out the screen, we wait 30 frames, and then we turn off the CS Fixer. Now that should make the whole thing look better. Hey, baby. Guys, we got to end the live stream pretty soon. I'd say right after we test this to make this right. We're going to end the live stream. Thank you so much for coming. Let's just take a look at this final cutscene and see if it works right. Fades out, and then, okay. That looked good. There was no instance of having both the party and the followers and these guys out. Tiana, Driftwood, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, Dark Hero goes to Lydia. Yada 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 yada. And then Lydia looks up to talk to Dark Hero and something something something. And then Tiana should face right to talk to Ogwyn when it's ready. There she goes. And then the gun. Into the water. Sound effects play. I'm sorry that happened to you. Promise to protect you. Yada yada. They're out. They fade out. And then they disappear. I mean, that's acceptable, right? Because you don't see them twice on the screen. You see them there, and then they disappear because they're in your party. So, I mean, I kind of think that works fine. And they're actually in the party now, so if you go to formation, you have all 6 of them, and you can change them around. They're still, like, way low level, 12 and 20, but you can get them and use them if you want to. And yeah, that's it. We're going to save it on file 22 here. And we can add one last little copy-pasty thing where we add torches and we add the screen tinter for Tarax. So we put some Tarax in this thing. Let's put a Tarax event right there. Let's go here, grab a torch event, copy the torches, put some torches all over the place. And then I'm going to put one here, but I'm going to make this have no image and a brighter light source with a different color. You know what, I'll keep it the same color for now, but we'll change the color later. I just want to see what it looks like. Guys, thank you so much for coming to the live stream. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to be streaming Monday. I won't be streaming until next Monday. 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That looks way cooler. Yes. Very nice. Really good discussions in the conversation and good conversations in the chat today. Thank you so much for your questions and suggestions and all of the stuff. Yeah, have a good weekend. I hope you have fun working on your projects. If you would like to support what I do, I have a Patreon page. It's patreon.com/driftwoodgaming. I have a website. Come hang out in the Discord. We have a link in the description where you can come hang out in the Discord. You can promote your stuff there. It's a really good place to chat over the weekends and in between live streams and whatnot. Subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of content. Like this video, live stream if you want more like it. And yeah, follow me on Mixer, guys. Mixer.com/driftwoodgaming. And if you want me to play your game, I have a Patreon perk that you can back me on Patreon, and I can play your game as a first impression, because first impressions are back, baby. Have a nice weekend. Love you guys. We'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.